Hey guys, it's Lane with Tim's Nation. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the Leagues of Votann army. I'm bringing against DJ's Necrons. I've got these new Necrons from the new Codex I'm going to go up against. A little worried about them. It seems like this detachment DJ's playing is pretty strong. So I don't know how the Votann are going to do. And as I said, the Votann are in a good place in the whole competitive meta. But I personally haven't really cracked them yet and figured out the best way to play them. I know a lot of people that are running competitively are spamming the Sagittars. I don't have more than two. I've got two Sagittars. They're really hard to find right now. So I don't know. So we've got a couple of Hecatons. We've got a few of these, a few of those. We'll see how it plays today. I've played a little bit of Votann last week. Played a couple of games with them. Might be getting a little more experience with them. Again, I did really well with them in 9th edition and just haven't really settled into a list that suits my playstyle for 10th edition. So we'll see how today goes. I know we've got an unnerfed Necron Codex we got to play into, but we're going to go through the list here together. Stick with me as we kind of talk through everything. Votann are pretty cheap still, so it's a lot to go through. So let's check it out. Here they are, today's kin. They're going to do their best to put these Necrons back into the dirt. Today's list just has two characters. We have a Call and we have an Einherjar champion. No enhancements. Didn't quite have the points for them. I know I often take Appraising Glare with them because it's good to be able to put out some extra judgment tokens on things. But today, no enhancements. The E-Champ is going to be leading a 10-man brick of the Hearthguard, and the Call is going to be leading a 5-man brick of the Hearthguard. So, remember the E-Champ lets his unit reroll charges, and he also does impact damage when he finishes a charge move. And then the Call, of course, gives his unit lethal hits, and also is able to give out judgment tokens in the command phase. Hopefully I remember to do that. I seem to forget because I don't play the Call very often in 10th edition. We've got one 10-man squad of the Hearthkin Warriors. They've got the missile launcher and a Magna Rail. I don't know if either of those has ever hit in any game I've played with the Hearthkin in 10th, being that their ballistic skill is 5. Oof. But we've got them here to split them up and throw them in a couple Sagittars and go out there and die and put judgment tokens on things and maybe do an action here or there or score me a primary. We'll see how they perform today. We've got a bunch of the Einherjar Hearthguard. I have 20 of them on the table today, so we've got one 10-man. I intend to deep strike these ones. I've got the 10-man that's got the plasma and the gauntlets led by the Einherjar champion. So they're going to have the teleporting crests today, so they'll be deep striking. And then I've got two 5-mans with the Vulcanites, one of which is being led by the Call. So the Vulcanites, they do mortal wounds. So we're going to put a 5-man in each of my Hecatons, hopefully try and take advantage of the rule for the Hecatons where models that get out there's a lot of steps to this rule. So for the Hecatons, if they have something that's embarked in it and that thing disembarks, and the Hecaton shoots something, and then that unit that disembarked also shoots something, the unit that disembarks gets to reroll all their wounds. A lot of terms and conditions to that special rule, but hopefully it'll make their Vulcanites pop off a little bit and do some devastating wounds. So we'll see how that goes. These guys are going to have the Weave Field Crest, so they have the invuln because they're not going to be teleporting today. They're going to be jumping out of the Hecatons. We've got 12 of the Pioneers today. We've got one 6-man of the Pioneer jet bikes, and we've got two 3-mans. We've got the rotary cannons, as many as we can squeeze in there. I intend to use the 6-man as a damage dealing unit. Because they have the scout move, a 9-inch scout move, what I can do in games is choose an easy target for one of my pre-game judgment tokens that I hand out and hopefully use the Pioneers to get out there and kill that easy-to-kill squad as quick as possible and score those bonus CP that Votann get for killing one of their prejudged units. The other two 3-man Pioneer squads, hopefully we're going to be using these to jump it on and off the table to score primaries and secondaries, that sort of thing. I'm not really looking at them for damage dealing, although they do still put out a fair number of shots. I've got two 3-mans of the Thunderkin, the Brokir Thunderkin with the Grav cannons. The Thunder Buddies are going to just be, they're still pretty cheap. So for 75 points, I'm going to put them in reserve and hopefully have them walk in somewhere. So for 75 points, I can use them to walk on and do investigate signals or that sort of thing, or use them to shoot a little bit. I've found in games that their grav cannons can be very powerful, but they can also be very swingy. So we'll see how they perform today. Now remember, those grav cannons are anti-vehicle 2-up. Each one's D6 shots, strength 5, AP2 2 damage, and anti-vehicle 2-up. But again, if something's in cover, it doesn't really get the damage through sometimes. Hit or miss. I put them into some Centurions last week that were in cover, and the armor contempted the Centurions, and so they were still getting 2-up saves, and these guys did nothing. Not a single wound got through. So we'll see how they do today. Hoping to use them maybe for some damage output, but more for scoring potential. Then we got 2 Sagittars. The plan is to split up the Sagittar, or to split up the Hearthstone Warriors and put them in the Sagittars today. This is one of the things in the list that is not actually WYSIWYG. I've got the auto cannons on these, but I'm going to be using the missiles today. So we are going to be using the missiles on the Sagittars. And then the 2 Hecatons, my Hecaton land fortresses that are painted up like the van from the A-Team. This is also not entirely WYSIWYG. I'm going to be, they're going to have bolt cannons around the outside, the 2 sets of twin link bolt cannons. And then both of them, I'm going to use the conversion beamer on. The Magna Rail is just one shot. I feel it's too swingy. So I'm doing the conversion beamer, hopefully get a few shots off of that and get a little bit of work done. But that's the list for today, guys. Okay, so today's game plan is we're going to have to kill these Necrons before they kill us. And we know that the DJ is using the new Canoptek Court detachment from the new Necron Codex, which means for a majority of the game, his whole army is just going to be rerolling all their hits, which is just terrifying. So I'm going to have to try to play sneaky. I can't expose too much stuff too often, or else it will get picked up. I got to make sure I save that CP for Void Armor so I can reduce AP by 1, try and keep those Hecatons around for a little bit longer. And play as sneaky as we can. So maybe bringing the bikes off from reserve, because their special ability allows them to jump off the table at the end of my opponent's movement phase, or the end of my opponent's turn, if they're within 6 inches of the table edge. So see if we can take advantage of that. We're going to put in the Thunder Cannon reserves. The 2 units of the Hearthguard are going to be in the Hecatons, hopefully jumping out and taking advantage of the wound rerolls so they can get some dev wounds through. We'll see how it all performs. Going to deep strike in a big brick of Hearthguard. They do pretty well because when they're led by a character, they're reducing their neg1 to wound, which might give them a little bit of staying power. But we'll have to see. Mixed feelings about how this is going to go. It might be a close game. But on the other hand, DJ just might wipe you off the table. So follow me over to the battle report. Let's see how the weekend do this week, and let's see how it goes.